Okay, well, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and we're going to do a little session today, similar to what we did on Friday, although today's session will be a lot shorter because we're only going to be covering 3 products today, and they're a little quicker to go through. So we are logged into my account, and this is my dashboard page. We'll remember all of this from Friday, and we went over ordering a photo shoot, virtual tours and how to make them, e-flyers, and print materials. Okay, so today's session, we're going to move down to this row of buttons, and we're going to go through how to make a newsletter, how to make a listing presentation, and how to make an email signature. So these are the 3 products that we're going to go through, and we'll touch on House Hunt because it's very connected to the email signature. So these 2 will kind of be together. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in. Starting with newsletters, and this is something that we released, I can't even remember when we released it. It was after Christmas or just before Christmas maybe. We had some clients who were requesting the ability to make newsletters so they could send them out, like real estate agents wanted to make these so they could send them out to their clients so that they, just as a nice way to stay in touch with people. You know, it wasn't necessarily, they're not necessarily listing centric, they're not necessarily related to or attached to a listing or even promoting a listing. Most of the agents wanted to create them just as a way to stay in touch and say hi and reach out and maybe send interesting information to their clients. So let's go in and let's say that we're a real estate agent and we want to make a newsletter. So I'm going to click on Create a Newsletter. Okay. Now our newsletters come in 2 different types. We have what we call ready to send newsletters, and basically the name says it all. They are literally ready to send without you having to do anything. They are full of content, so lots of interesting articles, text, links to things, lots of fun little pictures to illustrate them and make them colorful and fun. They are ready to go. You don't have to do anything. We also have build my own newsletters. So these ones are basically just empty templates. Now for the most part, we will create a header and a footer, but the body is empty. So you can upload your own images and put them into the newsletter, and you can either type in or copy and paste in your own text and articles and links that you want to link to other websites, whatever you want to do. These ones are truly build your own, okay? So let's start with the ready to send one because these ones are really fun. So I'm just going to click on Create Ready to Send Newsletter. The first thing it wants me to do is give a name for my newsletter. So this is really, this part is just so that I can have this in order in my own back end. If I'm the kind of person who wants to send out lots of newsletters and I need to organize them, it's best to give them a name because I might send the same newsletter but to certain different clients, that kind of thing. So whatever I call this newsletter, nobody's going to see it. It's just so I can keep things organized in the newsletter back end. So let's just call this my August newsletter for clients, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and I spelled that wrong. Terrible. It's Monday morning. Okay, I'm going to hit save. Okay. Now you might recognize this interface a little bit because it's very similar to the ones that we went in on Friday in the sense that we've got our navigation bar across the top of the page. Remember when we did virtual tours and e-flyers, etc.? You could jump around in your navigation bar. We have all of our existing items. We have a template library, template editor, view proof, shopping cart, so on and so forth. Okay, so all of our products, we kind of repeat the same process of doing things just to make it easier for our clients to learn how to use everything. So you might remember also last week that when we wanted to do everything, we had to create a listing. Now in this case, we don't have to create a listing because the products that we're going to look at today are not tied to listings. They're more marketing material to market yourself or to stay in touch with your clients. So they're not tied to specific listings, so we can skip that part altogether. So once I click Create New, it takes me into the template library. And this template library looks very much like the template library that we saw when we made e-flyers and print materials. I have all these different categories down the left-hand side of different newsletters, and then I have little thumbnails of the newsletters right over here, okay? Now we've set these up in 2 different ways. We've set them up view by category, and if you click in here, you'll see that we have all these different categories with a combination of real estate tips and also just fun stuff. So we have things like buyer's tips, downsizing, you know, mortgage and insurance, but then we also have some fun ones like entertaining and, you know, holiday stuff, Christmas, 4th of July. You know, these are the good categories that you might want to send out at holiday time, and it's, you know, just to stay in touch with people. So those ones are really fun. There's a lot of categories and quite a few newsletters. If you don't want to go through category, each subcategory one at a time, we've also organized them just by month. So if you're the kind of person who wants to send out a monthly newsletter, you can just find the month, August, and we've organized them so that the ones that are suitable and appropriate for August are under August. So instead of going through hundreds of newsletters, you can just go, okay, these ones are good for August, back to school, fall home decor, pool maintenance because the season's changing. If you want to see what they look like large, there's a preview button and you can click on that and it pops up nice and big, and then you can just scroll down. So there you go. That's a sample of the fall garden. Okay. And if you find the one that you want to do, just like when you did your e-flyer, you just click on select. And the system starts to generate it. Now it brings us into the template editor. Now the difference between the template editor here and in the e-flyer print creator is we don't actually edit any of the content inside the newsletter. So this is the difference between the ready to send ones and the build your own. The ready to send ones are designed to be good to go. You don't have to touch them, okay? And a lot of our agents like this because they're busy and they don't necessarily have the resources to find images to upload and to find articles, and they don't, you know, they don't want to do that. They're paying for a service for us to do it for them, and we've created these great newsletters that they can just send out, good to go. The only thing you need to worry about editing on this page, and you don't have to worry about it, but you can. If I scroll down, you'll see in the footer, I've got my contact information. So my headshot, my name and phone numbers, and my logo. I can edit the footer if I want. You see over here under contact details, everything is auto-populated, and you might remember on Friday in my account, remember I was saying how important it is to fill in all of your account details and upload your headshots and logos, because a lot of our products will auto-populate with all of your information for you, so you don't have to do it manually every time. It's just saves you a lot of time. That doesn't mean you can't edit the content. So if I want to edit any of this information, I just type in here. So for example, maybe I have a different phone number that I want them to use. I just type it in here, and you'll notice down here, it's changing as I'm typing. There it is. Maybe I don't want to include my website. For whatever reason, I'm just going to delete that. Now my website's gone. Okay? Next up on the tabs, social media. If you have some social media sites that you use for business, like a Facebook page for your real estate business, YouTube, you can put the URLs in here and they will show up on your newsletter. So you would just go to your Facebook page and copy the URL, which always shows up here, and then just paste it right in here. For today, I'm just going to type in a quick letter just so we can see the icons. These won't work because they're not real URLs, but it'll give you an idea of what it will look like in your newsletter. Okay? Next up is personal message. So I like this feature. You might be sending out this newsletter to maybe your gold list of clients, and maybe you've got 25 of them or something. But just to make it a little more personal, you can type in a little message that will display at the top of the newsletter. Something like, you know, hi everyone, here is my fall, newsletter, you know, hope you are well. Just whatever. You can type a couple sentences. Hope you are well. Cheers, Jana. Right? So you can type a couple sentences just to make it kind of personal. That you can do that in your personal letter. And then again, just headshots and logos. All of my headshots. If I want to change that, I just click on a new headshot and it updates right here. Same with my logo. If I have a different logo I want to use, I just click and it shows up right there. That's all you need to do. So on the edit template editor, all we need to do is put together our footer the way we want it, add some social media icons if we want, add a personal message if we want. Again, these are optional. You don't have to do them. When we're good to go, we can use our navigation bar and jump to view proof, or we can hit continue. Either or, we end up on the view proof page. Before we get there, it's asking me to enter a subject line. So you might remember when we did the subject line for the e-flyer, it was the same thing. You cannot send these out unless you have a subject. And the subject is just like when you get a normal email from somebody, they usually type in a subject. And you want to type in something kind of fun so that someone's going to think, oh, I'm going to open that email, as opposed to just going, oh, it looks like spam, delete, right? So I don't know. Fall info for my favorite clients, right? Something like that. Anything you want. I'll hit save. Okay, now it's going to take me to my view proof page where I can see everything I've done. Okay, just like with e-flyers, I can't stress how important it is to take 1 minute, 2 minutes even, and proof your newsletter. Because once you blast this out to your clients, you can't get it back. So if you find a mistake or a typo or you put the wrong phone number or you forgot to add something, it's too late. You can't get it back. They've already got it in their inbox. Okay? But this is what it's going to look like. So here's my subject line. Whoops, right there. Here's my little personal message that I put at the top. Hi everyone, blah, blah, blah. Here's the actual newsletter, looks good. There's my little social media icons. Now, as you remember, I didn't put in proper URLs just because I want to save time when we're doing the tutorial, but these are clickable. So you can click on each of these and make sure that they go to the right page. That's another way to test this. And if you have any mistakes, you just use edit, which will take you back to the template editor, or your navigation bar, click on template editor and you'll go back to the template editor. You can make any changes you want to your footer, your social media, maybe you want to add a little bit more to your personal message, anything you want, template editor. When you're good to go, come back to the view proof, test it one more time. Looks good, I'm happy with it, I love it. Now I can move to the next option, which is distribution. Now, when we did the e-flyer, we had two options in distribution. You could use our map blaster and choose a target area on the map, or you could upload your own personal client lists, right? Your little distribution lists. Newsletters, the ready-to-send newsletters, we're not doing it. We're not allowing people to use the Map Blaster. And that is just because the Map Blaster database is just email addresses of other real estate agents. And these newsletters are not designed to be sent to real estate agents. A real estate agent doesn't need a newsletter about how to do a mortgage, right? These are supposed to be fun tips and fun holiday recipes and things like that that you send to your clients. So they're not designed to go out to other real estate agents, which is why we've just done the add my clients. So when you click on this, it's the exact same interface as we had for the e-flyers. You can physically type in, whoops, you can physically type in an email address right here. So there's my email address. Or you can copy and paste a bunch if you have them. You can upload a CSV file if you have a whole Excel spreadsheet with all of your people in there. You can import your Gmail contacts, your Yahoo contacts. All of the emails will show up in this display window, and then you can give that distribution list a name and hit save. And when you do that, it will show up down here. These are all of my little distribution lists that I've made. So for example, my client gold list, I think we looked at this on Friday. I can click on that. It opens up. These are the people on my gold list. So let's just say in this particular case, I want to send this newsletter to my gold list. I just tick my gold list. Now this newsletter is going to them. Okay? I hit continue. Now, we also have two different options for how you want to set yourself up and how you want to pay for this. You can do a monthly subscription for $45.95, and that allows you to send unlimited newsletters every month. So if you've got a wide range of clients that are kind of diverse and they might have different needs, like you might have a client who's a brand new home, that's their first homeowner. So there's specific newsletters that you want to send to them as opposed to a client that you've been doing real estate with for 25 years. They don't need to know how to do a mortgage, but you might want to send them the fun ones like 4th of July or Super Bowl recipes, something like that. If it's going to be worthwhile to you, if you're going to send maybe 5 to 10 newsletters a month, then it's worth it to get the monthly subscription, and you can just tick that. If you're the kind of person who might just want to send out a newsletter once or twice a year, maybe at Christmas time you want to send a newsletter out to all your clients, and then maybe again at Easter or something, it might be more worthwhile for you to do the one-time blast. So it's $69.95, which is more, but if you're only going to do one a year, then that's a much cheaper option. So it's whatever suits you, however you want to market these. Pick the option that suits you best and then hit continue, and this goes into your shopping cart. Okay, it hasn't gotten blasted out yet. Just like the e-flyer, it will sit in your shopping cart. Once you pay for it, then it goes out automatically. Okay, so it's just like the e-flyer. That's how you blast it out. You just pay for it and it starts to go out to the people that you put on your contact list. Now I'm just going to delete that so nothing gets sent out accidentally. Okay, I'm going to quickly go back to newsletters and just quickly show you the build my own. It's the same idea. The only difference, we'll enter a name for it, my August build, because it's a build my own. Same idea, however, like I said before, these templates are empty. So we've given you different layouts, left, right layout, horizontal, columns, whatever you want. You can click the one that you want. Dumps me into the template library. These ones don't have as many categories as you can see. We've got corporate, we've got some holiday ones. Here's an Americana one. I can choose Texas. Maybe I want to do this one with the nice blue bonnets. Now when you open it up, you'll notice it is empty, okay? So I have my little, my few options over here on the left. I can upload photos. So if I have a bunch of photos I want to upload, I just click Upload Images. And just like I showed you last week when we did the virtual tours, you just click Upload Images, find them on your computer, and they'll show up in here as little thumbnails. You drag and drop the thumbnails into the template, just like we did when we made the e-flyer or the print material. You can also type in here anything you want to type. You know, here is my August news, right? Anything you want to type, drag and drop your images in. You can do the social media again. You can add a personal message again, and then you've got your headshots and logos, only this time the footer is editable. So it's up to you to drag and drop your headshot into the footer, type in your contact info, or leave it however you want. So we've left these really open so that people can do whatever they want with them, okay? So I'm just going to type hello. That would not be a very good subject, but to save us a bit of time. The difference with these ones is in the distribution options. These ones you are allowed to use the map blaster because an agent might use the empty blank newsletter to fill it with content that might be beneficial or interesting to other agents. They might want to use the blank newsletter to actually advertise a listing, which you can. You don't have to use one of our flyer templates. You might want to do it in newsletter format because then you can have clickable links and things because it's all digital. Or you might want to do an open house or something. Just use the newsletter format for that, in which case you can blast it out to other agents, or you can do your own My Contacts. Okay, and the pricing for the build your own is the exact same pricing as sending an e-flyer. So you do it the exact same way. Okay? One more thing I will mention. I said to Amanda, if I forget something, just jump in. This was something I was thinking I was going to forget. Something that we started when we first did the newsletters was we have some sales reps at Fatco in Houston, in the Houston area mostly. And one of them asked if he could do a newsletter from himself to all of his clients, and Amanda is our newsletter lady. She's amazing. She makes all these newsletters. They look great. They've got really good articles, really good content. So Amanda created a newsletter for him that he could blast out to his clients. And then someone in his office saw the newsletter and thought, ooh, I'd like one of those newsletters too, and so on and so forth. So now monthly, and I'm just going to pull them up so you can see what they look like. Monthly, Amanda has been making newsletters for a number of agents at Fatco. Amanda, are they under pre-filled?
Yes.
Under pre-filled, okay. So yeah, we're looking in the back end here. This is not what you guys will see, but I just want to show you a sample of one of these Fatco newsletters. There's a lot in here, so let them load. Okay.
That's one there, I
Oh,
think.
right here, here's one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's I'm going to hit edit so we can open it up. Right, okay, so here's one from an agent at First American, Candace Berrien. So what we did for each of these agents was we made them their own personalized header, whatever they want, whatever picture. We have like a little library of them that you can choose from. And then Candace will connect with Amanda and say, these are the kinds of things I want to talk about in my newsletter. These are the articles. Candace might send her some articles. Amanda might write a couple articles for her and just build her very own newsletter. And then she has her own footer at the bottom. Okay, so these are custom newsletters that we've been doing for sales reps so you guys can get in front of your agents, and it's also good advertising for us because the agents might see, ooh, I like those newsletters. I want to do a newsletter too. So it just kind of works all together. So that is an option that you guys could do if you were interested. You could talk to us about that. I'm just going to go back to my newsletter, back to the front end, because I am in the back end right now. Oh, sorry. I'm in another tab. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to show. Okay, and once you've done your newsletters, you might recognize this page as well. These are all of my existing newsletters. These are the ones that I have finished and sent out, which is why they're over here in the left column. These are my build my own ones. Some of these aren't finished. Obviously, this is the one I did this morning, has nothing in it. But you'll notice that you can go back in at any time and edit them. You can delete them. You can download a PDF of them if you want. You can also check your statistics for them, okay? So if you blast this out, you can see who actually looked at it. So that's good too. Okay, so that is the newsletter offering. Okay, not quite as complicated as the other stuff, especially if you choose a ready to send one. You can do that in a couple minutes. Next up is listing presentations. This is a little bit more complex, but it doesn't have to be. Listing presentations, again, this was a product that a couple of our agents asked us if we could create for them. So the listing presentation really acts as kind of a digital resume about yourself. So if you're trying to win new business or you want to get in front of a new client and you want to send them some information about yourself, the services you offer, maybe some testimonials, whatever you can do to help them and try to win their business, you can make a listing presentation. Okay, so let's just go in and create a new one. It's going to jump me right into the back end. Again, navigation bar. I have all my existing presentations, and I've done a bunch, as I always do when I'm testing. Okay, I can create new just so you guys can see from the beginning. My template library. The listing presentations are, right now we just have 2 templates because it's a fairly new offering. We'll probably add a few more to this in the future. And you can go by color, okay? So pick whatever color you want. Maybe you want one that matches your logo. Maybe you just like the color green, maybe like the color maroon. We can click on a preview, and then you'll get an idea of what it looks like. So like I said, it's a little digital presentation all about you and your services. Okay, so you can turn the pages. And to make everyone's life easy, we have filled in probably 95% of the content of these presentations is filled in and you don't have to touch it. So we've taken the liberty of making these different topics of discussion, most of which you don't ever have to touch, like staging, pricing, marketing strategies, negotiating. You could leave those alone. We've got text in there. We've got pictures. You don't have to touch them. Obviously, you're going to want to put in your own agency profile because this is about you, right? But everything else you could more or less leave the same. So you could do a listing presentation pretty quickly. Okay? I'm going to close this and we're actually going to go in and build one. So I'm going to hit select. Now I have to give my presentation a name, but again, this is just because I might be the kind of person who has a dozen different presentations. I might tweak them for different agents and I want to keep them all. So I could say, I don't know, my summer pres for 2016. I'm going to create my presentation. So the system is generating the presentation now. Always takes a minute. Now I can have a sip of tea. There we go. So it brings us into the back end, our little template editor as we looked at before. We have the ability to upload some images. Now I will tell you, the body of this presentation is very much like the ready to send newsletters. The images are already on the body pages and the text is already there as well. But for the front cover, I can upload a picture and have whatever picture I want on the front cover. So if I'm doing a listing presentation that is for one specific new client, I might go out and take a picture of their house and then put it on the cover of my presentation. I just drag and drop it over, just like when I did my e-flyer. Okay, and there it is. So now it's like, ooh, they're going to see this presentation and there's my house. I like this. Okay, if I mouse over the text fields, you'll notice that they become live. This means I can change these, obviously, because it just says client's name. So you'd want to click in there and put your, put your client's name in there because it looks good. This is the same text editor that we use in all of our products. So you have a few options. You can bold or italicize. You can change the font size, do a few little basic options, hit OK. And just like we saw last week, every time I make a change, it's going to render so that I can see the finished product right in front of me. Perfect. I never have to leave this page to look at a proof. It's pretty much there. And then I would put my name and my title, my logo. These things have a few things have auto-populated. If I don't want my logo, I would just click delete and it would be gone. Okay, so there's my cover page. Next is my table of contents. Okay, topics of discussion. Now I can mouse over and this becomes active. I can change this text or I can say, you know what, I actually like all these topics of discussion. I'm going to leave them as they are. Next page. So the sections at the beginning are about the real estate agent. These sections you are going to need to type in your own text, right? Like I would want to put my own name in here. And on the next page, there's a nice image, and even though there is text here, you can see it says at the top, this is just sample text only. We've put in basically fake text so that people using it can see what it could look like once they enter in their own text. So there's just a few sections at the beginning where you're going to want to type in your own text. These are the sections about you, my marketing strategy, my pricing strategy. I'm going to jump ahead just so we can get in here. Maybe I'll go to like page 20. So we can get into the body of it. So here's pricing strategy. I may not want to touch any of these. My marketing strategy, okay? I've got pictures on every page, text on every page. It's all editable, not the pictures, the text is editable. We've got a little section on Realtour as well, so you can show your clients that, hey, you know, I use the Realtour marketing system to market your listings, okay? If there are any pages that you don't want to include for whatever reason, you'll notice there's a little red X at the top of each page. You can remove a page entirely from the presentation. And you'll notice that when I did that, I've got a new button down here that says Removed Pages. If I click on that, I get a pop-up. Here is the page I removed. So it's no longer in the presentation, but it's not completely lost. If I, for some reason, decide I want to restore it, I just click, and it is then restored back into the presentation. Okay, back where it was before in the same order. Now I'm going to just jump ahead to the very last page. The back cover just has your headshot and contact info, and these are editable. Again, you've got your headshots and logos here, right? So you could drag a different one over if you wanted. Hit refresh, and it brings it back to life. There we go. Okay. Actually, I might go back a page so you can see what, there's a closing statement. So again, you could put in your own closing statement here. We've given you a sample of what you could say about yourself, but you could put your own closing statement in there. And then we also have a section at the end for testimonials. Again, these are just fake testimonials, obviously. You're going to want to put your own in. If you don't want to include testimonials, just delete the whole testimonial section. No problem. You don't have to do it. Once you've got everything the way you want, you can jump into View Proof. Okay, and the view proof shows you the presentation, basically how it's going to look from the front end. So it's in a nice little player, and you can turn the pages like this, or you can use our little controls, next, next, next. Okay, and this is basically what your agents, or your would-be, hopefully, client is going to see, your new client, once you send this to them. Okay, and again, if you want to make edits, you just jump back to the template editor, or click here, edit further. If you're happy with it, you just click continue, and you go to the shopping cart, okay? And once you pay for it, it is now in your account, and I'm just going to go into one that I already have existing because it takes sometimes 5 to 10 minutes for it to fully render. So here's the one I just made up at the top, but you'll notice the ones that I've made earlier, I'm able to edit them, delete them. I can download a PDF of this. So we purposely made these to be 8.5 by 11 because some people might want to download a PDF of the pages and print them and bind them and even just keep them as a leave behind. You might have, you know, a prospective client that's just not that digital and they don't want you to send them a link and they'll watch your presentation online. They might be more comfortable with a little bound booklet of these pages, and that's totally fine. You can download a PDF and get those printed. You can also download the presentation itself and save it onto your laptop. If you're going to someone's house or meeting them in a coffee shop and you want to do the presentation and you're a little concerned that the internet might be a bit dodgy wherever you are, you don't necessarily want to log into your Realtour account. You can log into your account and hit play and just watch the presentation, but if there's any kind of technical difficulties, because we all know the internet can sometimes conk out, you might also want to download the presentation, just have it saved on your laptop, and you can just play it from there as well. Okay, so you have those options. All right, that was actually a little quicker than I thought. That is the listing presentation. Next up is email signature, and this is one that we literally just launched, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, maybe in July. This is again, clients asked if we could maybe make something for them that they could make their own email signatures, okay, to have at the bottom of their email. So let's just say we don't have one, we want to create new. So I hit create new. The first thing it wants me to do is give a name for my email signature, and this is just in case you end up having 5 different signatures. And that people might be thinking, why would you have 5 different ones? But you'll see that we've got some fun holiday ones. So you might want to have your standard corporate one, and then you might want to have a couple holiday ones that you change up during the year just for fun. So let's just call this Jana's corporate sig. Okay, and then it's asking me if I use Microsoft Office Outlook. I don't. I use Gmail. So I'm going to hit no, and I'm going to hit continue. Okay, again, we're in the back end. We've got a navigation bar, template type, template library, editor, view proof, all looks very familiar. For the email signatures, we've only got 2 different layouts to choose from. When we started designing this, we had a few more to choose from, but then we thought, you know, most people are going to want everything kind of left aligned. It's kind of the standard, or they might want it centered. Some of the wacky layouts we had before, we realized that people weren't actually going to use them. Most of our clients are, you know, they work in a corporate industry. You can't have these kind of kooky email signatures, you know, it's not really a creative industry. So we've just got 2 template types to choose from. And in the future, if we get requests for different ones, we're always happy to add to our libraries based on what our clients want. So I can click on preview and look at it a little bit bigger. There we go. So that's what the finished product can look like. And let's say I like the idea of the left aligned. I want the left aligned. So I'm going to click select. Okay, and it's going to bring me into the template library, which looks very much like all of our other libraries. You've got some little categories down the side, got some Texas themed ones. We don't have that many templates for email signature just because it's new. We didn't want to do dozens and dozens of them, but if it becomes more popular and people start requesting, we will always add to our template library. Let's say I want to do a real estate themed one, and I'm a female agent, and I like this one with the keys. So I'm going to click select. Okay, and it's going to bring me into the template editor. So here is my little signature. Here's my little photo bucket like I've had in all my other ones, my headshots and logos. If I want to change my headshot, I can just click and my new headshot appears. Click. Okay, if I want to change my logo, I just click on the logo and it appears right here. Okay, in the actual e-signature. So that's kind of cool. Here's all of my contact information, and this is all auto-populated because I have it all under my account. If I want to change any of that, I've got this little interface down here. So I'm on the main tab. I can click in any of these fields and change them. So for example, maybe I don't want to put my agency address for whatever reason. I can just click in these fields and delete them, and they just delete right out of the template. Okay, I don't want that. And maybe I have a different phone number. I want to change that. Whoops. Okay, as I change it, it changes right up here, right in front of my eyes. Okay, so that's how you handle all of your contact information. If you wanted to put something different down here instead of address, whatever I type will show up right here. So maybe you have a little tagline or something you want to put in there. That's fine. You can do that. Okay, next up is view my listings. So you'll notice there's a little view my listings, and this is actually a link, okay? Once we're in the view proof, you'll see that it is clickable. It's a link. So if I wanted someone, you know, every time I send an email, they look down at my signature and they're like, oh, view my listings. Well, I can go and look at Jana's, all of her listings. We have, and this kind of brings me into our House Hunt. This is where House Hunt is connected to email signature. We developed House Hunt, which is basically a Google map, and it's a showcase for showing all of your listings and where they are on a Google map, and I'll show you that as soon as I'm done this. But we can link to it from our email signature. So if I want to show all of my listings on the House Hunt map, I can just leave this one ticked. If I have my own website and I've got all my listings on my own website, I can put in, you know, whatever that URL is. Say that's my website, jana.com. Now view my listings will go to my website, okay? So I'm going to get rid of that. Or if I don't want people to see my listings connected to my email signature, I can just have nothing and it disappeared. But let's keep the House Hunt one ticked so you can see what it looks like. Social media icons. Just like with the newsletter, you can have all your little, if you have a bunch of social media icons that are associated with your real estate business, you just copy and paste the URLs in here. And to save time, I'm just going to type in a letter, but you'll see as I do that, the little icons appear here. Okay, so whatever ones I have, I can put them in. There they are. Okay. Disclaimer. I know a lot of companies have disclaimers in their email signatures, so you can choose to use, we've just got a very basic one that we've put in for people if they want to use, but this text field is editable. So if you have one that you have to use, or if you have one that's longer that you prefer to use, you can copy and paste it in here or just type it in here. Make sure you click yes, you want to show the disclaimer. There it is right there, okay, and it will show at the bottom of your e-signature. Okay, so I think I'm done. I want to view a proof, or hit continue, same thing. It takes me to the view proof page. So this is what my little email signature is going to look like. Now I can make sure I've got everything correct. I've got what I want for my logo. As I mouse over these are now clickable. Now, as you saw, I didn't put proper URLs for these, so I'm not going to click on them because I won't go anywhere. But you're going to put proper URLs and you're going to click on each of these to make sure that it goes to your Facebook page and your Twitter page and your YouTube channel, whatever you want. Okay? View my listings. When I click on this, it's going to take me to House Hunt. You notice it's opening a new page, a new tab, House Hunt, and it's telling me that House Hunt, the map, is currently displaying my listings, and that's what I want. I want people, when they get my emails, to look in my signature and go, oh, I wonder what listings Jana has. Okay? Now, obviously, I don't have very many listings because I'm not a real estate agent, but you can see this is what it looks like. So I've got a couple little listings here, and when I mouse over them, I get a couple pictures, I get a link to my tour, I can look at more details. So my property description, some bit of information I filled in my contact info as well. Okay. I can also look at street view. Whoops. Sorry guys, I just clicked on something. And again, this is all Google. So if I'm not familiar with this area for this particular listing, I can click on my street view and there it is, which is always cool because it's like, oh wow, okay, that's what this property looks like. That's what the street looks like. Okay. I've got some down here in Austin too. So if you're a real estate agent, you might have 10 listings, you might have 15, but they'll all show up here on the Google map. Okay. And you can also look at your amenities too. When you zoom in a bit closer, your amenities will start to show up over here. Well, just takes a minute to reload. And then people can go in and look and see, okay, where are they shopping? Schools, grocery stores, you know, where is everything in this neighborhood because I'm not familiar with it, and it all shows up on the little map. So this is House Hunt, and it's just nice to have this link because you can use it for lots of things. You can use it in your other marketing material if you want. You can always show people your listings, right? Once you log in, I logged in actually, and you can toggle between showing just your listings and showing all Realtour listings. So if you click Show All, it's going to zoom me out. I'm going to zoom in a bit, and these are all the Realtour listings across the United States. The few that are in Canada are from us, us, Amanda and I making our testing things because we are in Canada. But if I go down to Texas, yeah, most of our listings are in Texas right now. And you can mouse over and you'll see, oh, look at these ones. So it's handy. You can see what's for sale in your area. You can find your own listing on here. Okay. So that was House Hunt, getting to House Hunt from the email signature. I'm just going to go back. Let's assume that I'm happy with my email signature. I would hit continue. It takes me to the shopping cart. Once I pay for it, I can go back to my email signature. And I'll just go back to one that's already been paid for. Let's just say that this is the one I was working on. You'll know all I can do is edit it or delete it because I didn't actually pay for it. But let's say here's one that I paid for. I can download it. So when I download it, it gives me, I'm just going to open it with Firefox. Okay, here it is here. I just copy it. I copy everything in here, and then I can just right-click, copy, and then I can go into my email signature page, whether I'm Gmail, whatever email provider you use, we've got a set of instructions for you, and it will show you how to paste that into the back end of your email signature. Like when I go into Gmail, I think I just click on settings, I haven't done this for a while. And I believe I just scroll down right here to signature, and I can just paste that signature right in here. There it is. Now, as long as I hit save right there, now when I send an email to somebody, here's my new signature. So depending what email provider you're using, we've got a little set of instructions, and I'll just open that, and you can see a little pop-up. Right, so if you're doing Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, or Yahoo, you can scroll down, just choose which one you want, and then scroll down, and we've got little pictures and instructions for what to do, how to get your email, how to get your signature into your email. Okay? And like I said, if you maybe you have a corporate one, but I'm just going to go into edit existing, you can go into the template library, and we just have some holiday ones. I noticed that some companies at Christmas time or Halloween, they have a different email signature just for fun. So we have a few of those as well. Um, Christmas and Halloween, Happy New Year, that kind of thing. So we have a few of those as well. And as I said, we are always happy to add to our product offerings if we get requests. So if you guys think of something that might make your job easier or you know that your clients are looking for, just let us know. I mean, most of our products have been built because agents have requested things. And we think, oh, that's a really good idea, or that's a really good feature we should add to one of our existing products, just like adding more templates, you know. We're happy to do that at any time. So I'm just going to go back home. And that pretty much sums up our second session where we've gone through newsletters, listing presentations, and email signatures. And again, as I mentioned, these, unlike these products, which are very much listing centric for selling your listing and marketing your listings, these ones are more for marketing yourself and your business and staying in front of your clients. All right, so that is the session. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Like I said, I did record the whole thing, so I'll put that up on YouTube and send you guys the link as well.
Thank you, Jan. And if you could send me those links as it is, I would appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. And if anybody has a question, maybe you think of
Thank you.
something later, you can email myself or Amanda as well.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
you're welcome, everybody. Have a good week. Happy
Thank
Monday.
you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.